I was born and raised right here in Huntsville, Texas, and I will be directing The Pavilion by Craig Wright. I found myself becoming very frustrated with myself as an actor because I wasn't being able to get to where I needed to get to. I wasn't being able to act as well as I wanted to, or maybe knew I could. But when I took my first directing class, in the first week or two of taking that class, I discovered that this is what I want to do. It's what I need to do for the rest of my life. And having the opportunity to do this, to be a part of Director's Debut, it's an opportunity to learn and to figure out what it is that I want to be as a director, and to learn to be better, not only as a director, but as a person. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity. This show has a lot to say about what happens when you hurt someone, or what happens when you are hurt. And the themes of transgression and forgiveness and the passage of time and its effect on those things played heavily on my heart. And I've gone back to this play over and over and over again since I've been studying here at SAM. And each time it tells me something new. And I think that's really what drew me into this show. Doing anything in a pandemic is difficult, and mentally and emotionally taxing. And making theater in a pandemic has been no different. My first experience with theater in a pandemic was a show that I was in the spring of 2020 when everything happened, that unfortunately was lost. And so for me, the most difficult thing has been dealing with the idea that at a certain point, if something bad happens, this show is lost. And in learning to live with that, learning to deal with that has been difficult. It's also difficult because this is a show about intimacy. It's a show about relationships. And unfortunately, we can't touch or even be near each other. And that creates some interesting problems, not only in the world of the actors, but in the world of the show, in how I facilitate and do things. It has been a challenge. Yes and no. Directing a full-length production is, well, I have directed a full-length production once before at the Huntsville Community Theater. It was a lovely show. But that was very different. That was a much larger cast size, and there was a lot more going on with the set and with everything around the show. And this has been a much more intimate experience with a cast size of only 3, a set suggested by benches. It is difficult because it has to be this one cohesive idea of what the show is. And when you're going through it piecemeal, it can be hard to maintain that. And that is something that I have learned a lot about, is how to look at it, not only in the big picture, but in the biggest picture. Learning how to direct in a way that is actionable. As a director, you have this cohesive idea, this show, and the actors, they fill the world of the show, and in order to do that, they need your direction. And it can be hard to direct in a way that is actionable as an actor, and that has been one of the greatest challenges, but also I think one of the greatest tools that I've learned. As a director, I've learned that um, that everybody has ideas, and that all of those ideas are valuable. And I knew that intellectually before going into it, but actually doing the thing has taught me that there are people in the room who have ideas that are probably better than mine, and that I should embrace that. Come to the show with an open mind and an open heart. This show is kind of weird. It's not necessarily realistic. It deals with some heavy material, and the best thing that can happen is for the audience to think about how what is happening is making them feel. And so I would just ask the audience to pay attention to how you feel as the show progresses. Thank you for supporting Sam Houston State University's Department of Theater and Musical Theater. Please enjoy The Pavilion by Craig Wright.